Well, guys, very good game for us overall. I'm very proud of those guys in the locker room. When you talk about 9 guys getting the game, and I thought all 9 guys contributed to the win. Markel Johnson was special tonight, especially in the first half. You know, when we were struggling to score, he raised up and made a bunch of shots. I thought he was really good. You know, when you look at it, it's a career high for him in ACC play. I thought Jericho Helms came in and did a tremendous job. Obviously, same with him, a career high 14 points in ACC play. And then Torrin Dawn has been steady, you know, double-double, 13 points, 10 rebounds. But, you know, it was one of those games where we were able to get out in transition because we rebounded the basketball. I thought we shared the basketball. We made shots. We have played pretty good in the last 3 games at home where teams zoned us. Obviously, when you talk about Syracuse and Boston College and now Wake Forest. So happy for our guys, and it's better to have a week off with a win opposed to a loss. And so now we got to take a couple days off and then try to stay sharp and get ready for our next opponent, which is Florida State. Questions?
When Markel is sweating the way that he was in the first half, just kind of pouring off his body, is that perhaps the best sign that he's all the way back for you?
Well, he was locked in. And the good sign is that he's playing longer stretches. For me, you know, I think, you know, he's probably still a little bit sore, but the telltale sign for me is that he can play a lot longer. And so, you know, I kept him in the first half because he was playing well. I normally would try to get him a break somewhere in between there, but I think he's getting back.
Coach, does it seem fitting for Markel to have a game like that on T.J. Warren's night?
Well, listen, it's I brought T.J. Warren in the locker room, and I told these guys what a special night. We talked about it before the game that, you know, T.J. was going to get his jersey lifted into the rafters. And I'm proud of T.J. You know, I didn't obviously get a chance to coach him, but I remember his days at Brewster and a tremendous player there. But when you look at T.J. Warren, he wasn't a top 10 player coming out of high school. He's a self-made guy. And, you know, when T.J. Warren comes back into town, every time he gets a break, and I look out in the gym in the Dale Center, it's T.J. Warren, and he loves to play. You never hear about him having any problems off the court. And I told our guys, if you want to be like somebody, be like T.J. Warren, because T.J. is a special kid, and I'm excited that we could win on the night that he was getting his jersey lifted. And so, yeah, I think it was a good night that Markel had because of, you know, on T.J. Warren night.
Coach, your team finishes with 32 points off the bench. Extended minutes for Blake Harris, and Jericho Helms had his ACC high tonight with 14 points. What were your thoughts on your bench overall tonight?
Well, I love our bench, but they've worked hard in practice. You know, we're only dressing 9 guys, and the message to everybody on our team is that I want you to play as hard as you can for as long as you can. And then if you put your hand up, we'll get somebody else in. I'm excited to see Blake play because he's finally getting healthy and he's finally back in the rotation. And certainly he can help us, especially on the defensive end. I thought Jericho was really, really good. I thought he was aggressive. He did a great job running in transition. He played great defense. And, you know, he's a guy that will continue to get better.
Jericho mentioned after the game that there was a point in January he kind of went through that freshman wall a little bit. How did you kind of get him through that?
Well, I showed him all. Yeah, I showed him all of his turnovers, and told him if he keep turning the ball over, he's not going to play. And no, look, freshmen, you know this. Everybody in this room knows this. Freshmen do this. They hit the wall, peaks and valleys, and you know he's no different than anybody else. But I think he's back playing good basketball now.
He was talking about how appropriate it was that Markel had the big game on TJ night, but the fact that he didn't play in Winston-Salem and you lost that game, how kind of appropriate was it that he was the guy who kind of spurred you on the night?
Yeah, thank you for reminding me we lost that game, just so you know. Yeah, well, he was good, and he was locked in. And, you know, obviously give Wake Forest credit for their win at Wake Forest. I'm not going to take away from it because Markel wasn't there. Injuries are part of the game. But on tonight, I thought Markel was special, and he was obviously the difference in the game. Thanks, guys.